You've seen him everywhere. The nice guy, pleasant, agreeable, harmless, never rocks the boat, never speaks his truth, always compromises. And yet, he's invisible, because beneath that carefully crafted smile lies something far more disturbing. Fear, not the healthy fear that keeps men alive. A deeper fear, the fear of his own nature, fear that has become his hidden master. This is the man who traded his birthright for scraps of approval and received neither respect nor power in return. The world doesn't honor him, it exploits him, until one day it simply looks right through him. This is the prison of niceness, and if you're trapped inside its walls, it's time to demolish them completely. Welcome to Deionos, where timeless philosophy becomes a weapon in modern war. Let's begin the excavation of your authentic self. Carl Jung understood what modern society has buried. The acceptance of oneself is the essence of the whole moral problem and the epitome of a whole outlook on life. And more urgently, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. Niceness isn't virtue, it's camouflage. Most modern men aren't kind because they've conquered themselves. They're kind because they're afraid of themselves. They smile because they fear what lives behind the smile. Rage, hunger, drive, power, their will to dominate, their capacity to destroy, their ambition to win, buried, suppressed, banished into the shadow. But shadows do not disappear. They accumulate, they fester, they wait, until one day they seize control. The passive man who never shows anger explodes. The agreeable husband who never complains walks out. The reliable worker who always nods sabotages the project. This is the shadow, demanding to be seen. Jung's answer wasn't perfection, it was wholeness. You don't kill the shadow, you claim it, you integrate it, because the man who befriends his darkness no longer fears it. He carries it like a blade. That's why others feel his presence. He doesn't need validation. He is validation. Carl Jung said, "Beware of unearned wisdom." The nice guy repeats quotes. The integrated man becomes them. Nietzsche saw this sickness before it had a name. He called it slave morality, a value system designed by the weak to neuter the strong. It praises meekness, demonizes ambition, glorifies sacrifice without purpose, and calls subservience goodness. But Nietzsche's brutal truth, the sheep calls the wolf evil, not from clarity, but from fear. You were trained to be silent when you should speak, be tame when you should roar, be agreeable when you should confront. But tame men aren't respected, they're tolerated, then replaced. You were told power corrupts, but Nietzsche knew better. Power reveals. It unmasks the soul, forces choice, and that's why the weak hate it. His solution, the will to power, not domination over others, but over self. Tear up the script handed to you, write your own. Forge values not to rebel, but to create. Build your identity like a weapon, sharp, singular, without apology. Your kindness must come from strength, not fear. If everyone approves of who you are, you're still in chains. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but his greatest conquest was internal. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The stoic path is not passivity, it is unshakable integrity. The strong man doesn't say yes to be liked. He says no to protect what matters. He doesn't perform for approval. He walks by a code. He doesn't avoid conflict to keep peace. He seeks truth, Because truth is the only real peace. This isn't cruelty, it's clarity. The man who stops bending becomes the compass others follow. Because virtue without force is just decoration. The Stoics were not soft. They were steel, forged in silence. And they knew true kindness comes from strength, not from fear of disapproval. Long before Greene, there was Machiavelli. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Not to promote cruelty, but to expose the truth. Respect is a stronger foundation than affection. The nice guy wants to be loved by everyone and ends up respected by no one. Machiavelli understood. Men follow strength, not charm. They trust presence, not performance. The prince doesn't chase approval. He creates order. He guards his space. He rewards loyalty and enforces boundaries. This is not malice. It's maturity. He doesn't expect men to be better than they are. He leads them as they are, and in doing so, earns what the nice guy never can: respect. Robert Greene's truth is undeniable. The world does not reward nice. It rewards clarity. And the deadliest flaw is needing to be liked. Because once you need approval, you become predictable. And the predictable man is disposable. Greene wrote, "Make your reputation unassailable. Court attention at all costs. Overwhelm your enemy, not because life is war, but because confusion is defeat. The powerful man doesn't overgive. He withholds his attention, his energy, his presence, not as punishment, but as proof of value. You don't teach the world with your words. You teach it with your boundaries. Power is not domination, it's direction. And either you wield it with intention, or someone else will wield it against you." Let's talk tactics. 1. Speak like you matter. Record yourself. Find the weakness. Re-record with deeper tone, slower rhythm, fewer qualifiers, more pause. Your voice is your posture made audible. Fix the voice. Fix the man. 2. 3 days of silence. Speak only when necessary. No fillers. No justification. Just wait. Silence builds mystique, and men who speak less are heard more. 3. 1 truth per day. Start with simple opinions, then escalate. Boundaries, beliefs, hard truths. Not for reaction, but for release. 4. Deliberate disappointment. Say no. Cancel plans. Hold your ground. Feel the discomfort and stay with it. Watch how the world doesn't collapse. It adjusts. 5. Shadow work in darkness. Write what you fear inside you. The ambition, the lust, the violence, the pride. Then ask, what if this isn't a flaw, but fuel? Burn the page, not to erase it, but to reclaim it. 6. Weekly confrontation. Find one: the rude waiter, the unfair boss, the weak boundary. Challenge it, calmly, cleanly, then walk away taller. 7. Write your constitution. Who are you? What do you stand for? What will you never tolerate again? Seal it with action. Live it with consequence. This path has a price. You will sacrifice your addiction to validation, social camouflage, excuse-making. But what you gain is priceless. Unshakable trust in self, real connection, born from truth, purpose with spine. Not everyone will like the real you, but those who do will respect it. The man you were is not the man you must remain. You were not born to serve smallness. You were born to stand tall. There is a war inside you, between the obedient boy and the dangerous man. One wants approval, the other demands respect. One plays safe, the other plays real. Which one will you let win? You were not born to be remembered as pleasant. You were born to be remembered as necessary. Face your darkness. Tear off the mask. Step forward. This is Deionos, where timeless philosophy becomes a weapon in modern war.